What's up, family? Hope everybody had a good day of trading. I know the Focus Trades group did. So before we start this video, I just want to give a shout out to a handful of traders in the Focus Trades group for some awesome trading today. Our man Mancom today hitting 100% on MDB. He went 5 of 5 today. Our man Talon hitting a piece of his baby girl, Apple. What else do we got here, guys? We got Shaheen, my young brother, locking a good game there today on Google. We have got, what else do we got here today? Right, there's Mancom freaking killing it today. Right, he went 5 of 5. My man Chris K, 1 for 1, one and done today. We've got my man Chris A. He was killing it today. I think he made about $300-400 today. Hit Roku for a quick 155. So good work today in the group, guys. Everybody's killing it. Everyone is focusing. And most importantly, everybody's doing their own preparation. My man Rob. Rob, when you do your put spreads, man, you kill him, lock in his Tesla put spread for 60% of his max gain. That is beautiful work. What else do we got here, right? Just going back and forth, guys. This is what this group is all about. Not me telling people what to trade, how to trade. Not Chandler telling people how to trade, what to trade. But we're trying to focus on the things that matter most to us as traders, regardless of how you're going about it. So great work today, guys. And the last shout out here is going to be for my man Bart, hitting his first $1,000 profit day a few days ago. These were both put spreads on Amazon and Netflix. Bro, I am proud of you. Good work, guys. A little bit of bragging there. Let's get into the video now. Alrighty, family. So sometimes a game plan just works out to perfection. I'm going to walk you guys through what the game plan was this morning, what we identified in the Focus Trades group, as well as my pre-market video here. So if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, definitely subscribe, because the pre-market videos I try to put out Monday through Friday, they're going to give you a sense of what I'm looking at, what the Focus Trades group is looking at, and it'll give you some insights on how to prepare like somebody who trades full-time does. So heading into this morning, guys, for those of you in the group and those of you that watched the video, what do we identify? With the big headlines, U.S. versus Iran, all that turmoil, we had the market and all the leading names gapping to the downside this morning. But what we identified was the SPY holding up at Friday's low heading into the open. We identified Apple holding up at Friday's low heading into the open. We identified Nvidia and AMD holding up at Friday's low into the open. We identified the same thing over here on Netflix, and we identified the same thing over here on Amazon. So that's what we had working for us heading into the morning. Market was gapping to the downside with all the turmoil going on regarding Iran, but we were holding up nicely heading into the open at Friday's low, a key level of intraday support. And this wasn't true just for the index, this was true for most of the leading names that we tend to focus on in the group. So when the market's about to open up, we've gapped to the downside, and basically everything we're focusing on is sitting at a key level of intraday support. The key thing to understand right now, guys, is that with these headlines, what we have the risk of right now is volatility entering the market. And especially for us as options traders, the presence of volatility is a big deal. So for those of you in the group, you are familiar with this concept by now, but as far as volatility goes, guys, real quick recap here. When VIX, the volatility index, is above 16, the market is generally going to be very choppy or very weak and really ugly. When VIX is below 16, preferably down towards that 14 range, it tends to be smooth sailing. So we know we've got negative headlines. We know we've got the potential for volatility to spike into the market, but we identified everything opening up at a key level of intraday support, being Friday's lows. So going into the open this morning, what we discussed was that we can take these moves off of support if and only if volatility begins to fade quickly at the open. If we take a look here, right, we take a look, guys, at the hourly chart heading into the open, VIX is spiking above 16 just like Friday morning. But just like Friday morning, the volatility quickly left the market. We're dropping back down beneath 16, back into that safe zone. And just like Friday, when volatility can get sucked back out of the market, we take that as our green light to begin looking for moves to the upside. So this morning was basically just a replay of Friday. We gap down, volatility spikes, quickly fades back down to the safe zone. The market is able to bounce freely. That's what happened here today. So this is important, guys. The whole thought process this morning wasn't just the support levels, but how are we going to play these support levels? And though we tend to look for moves to the upside, especially when overall the market has been so strong, the role that volatility plays here was really the foundation today. So because volatility quickly faded, that gave me and others in the group green lights to take these bounces to the upside. So what I want to do now is walk you guys through the 2 trades that I put on today with this foundation working in my favor. So here are my 2 trades today, guys, and I want to walk you a bit through my thought process here. So 90 to 95% of my trading is option selling. Put spreads, credit spreads, that's my favorite strategy. That's what works best for me as an individual. So a morning like this is perfect for somebody who wants to look to sell puts for a few reasons. One, we are gapping down, but we're gapping down at a key level of support. This is likely where a stock is to make a move to the upside. But more importantly, guys, what was working in my favor as an option seller this morning is that I want you to think about what happens to the options world when the market gaps down. Think about AMD and Nvidia here gapping down nicely compared to when they closed on Friday. When you get that sudden gap down and you get that sudden move to the downside, what's happening to the options puts is that the implied volatility is spiking through the roof. In plain English, those options are getting injected with steroids. They're getting pumped up with all kinds of premium.
Not big enough.
And what happens here, guys, is that when the IV spikes, out the money options that really have no right of having any kind of value quickly begin to gain value. Now, the beauty of this is that as soon as the stock, never mind bounces, things happen to bounce today, but as soon as the stock simply slows down, holds up, and even begins to consolidate, the implied volatility collapses. So all of those out the money puts that were gaining value, getting all juiced up, all hyped up due to that drop at the open, all of that premium that got caked in, it gets sucked right out of it. So when we can gap down, the puts are exploding in value, but when we can identify support, and more importantly in the case of this morning, when we can identify volatility quickly leaving the market, that gives somebody like me and a handful of traders in the group a perfect opportunity to take advantage of that temporary spike in the put premium and sell some put spreads. So that's the thought process behind why this morning was the ideal morning to sell these bad boys. And now let's talk a little bit about why AMD, why Nvidia, right? 2 strong names as of late. AMD, arguably one of the strongest names in the market, along with Apple, along with Tesla. They've been getting upgrades left and right. They have seen positive options flow, some pretty big call flow over the past few weeks. And they got a potential catalyst with a conference regarding the semis this week. So strong names as of late, seeing a lot of accumulation, taking advantage of this drop this morning to get in a position in a put spread. And it's working perfectly here, guys. So for Nvidia, this morning I came in and I sold this Friday's expiration 225 puts. So for those of you guys that aren't familiar with the concept of a put spread, just like you could short a stock, I shorted the 225 strike puts in the form of a put spread. So I'm going to make my max profit here come Friday's close as long as Nvidia closes anywhere above 225. I shorted the 225 puts this morning when those bad boys are getting premium for no reason, and if we close above 225, they're going to zero. So I shorted them with perfect timing when they had some value, and now with the bounce here, those puts are already getting crushed. That's working in my favor. With AMD over here, guys, same thing, and I sold puts at, come on back here. I sold puts at 46.5, and I'll show you guys these positions here in a second. And I sold the puts for AMD down here at 46.5. So in plain English, guys, the market gaps down to a key level of intraday support. We waited patiently to make sure volatility wasn't spiking above 16. Volatility disintegrates, stocks begin to move. Myself personally, I take advantage of that increase, or that spike rather, in the put premium. Put spread on Nvidia, put spread on AMD. For me, if both of these trades hit max profit, that's more than enough for this week. I'm only open-minded to another potential opportunity like this. So Tuesday through Friday, I'll be sitting here patiently waiting for the next dip or the next pullback opportunity to sell another put spread. But that was the thought process this morning, guys. So this is how you can reach a point when you trade full-time. When you're waking up early, you're identifying all the important things, you're putting together a game plan. You've got to be putting together a list of if-then statements. If volatility leaves the market, what are we looking for? if the stocks can hold above Friday's low, and if the tape can show us confirmation of buyers, what are we looking to do? The more answers like that you can figure out on paper before the market opens, the better off you're going to be. So those are my trades today. I will keep you guys posted as we head towards expiration day this Friday on whether or not these things work in my favor. But as of right now, I've got about 12 points of cushion, give or take, there on NVIDIA. And for AMD here, I got about just under $2. So I like where I'm sitting, guys. This is my go-to trade. There's nothing more I love than selling puts. So that's that. I hope you guys had a good day of trading. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that right now. And Focus Trades members, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning.